My name is Rhapsody and welcome back to Monster Train 2. Time to hit the better random, let's say 6 times this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In honor of the amount of letters in both better and random. We'll depart now, gaining... Oh, exiled both Hellhorns and Umbra. So that Shardtail Queen is our lead, with 5 copies of Queen's Impling in the base deck, and also 5 copies of Plink, dealing 2 damage to a random enemy twice on Slay. It adds a common or uncommon morsel unit to your hand. Also, we have Seraph Eternus, the Chosen of Dominion. So we're going to have to make sure that our front line is big and beefy, so that we don't have to worry about the doubling of that corruption so much. Or, of course, our front line is disposable, will also work. Personal Sword Pyreheart, very, very powerful this one. Gain 4 deployment Ember, so we're going to be looking to have more things to deploy in the deployment phase to really help justify that cost. Especially good when you have Hellhorn, who oftentimes can get units that just cost a lot, but are incredible for the cost. 2 copies of Fortifying the base deck, 0 Ember to apply 8 armor, 2 copies of Mind Collapse, X to deal 3x damage to a unit, and Slay, gain 2 Ember. And finally, the Railbeater, 1 Ember, 2 size, armor 30, on strike, apply melee weakness 1 to the attacked unit. I mean, 100% of the time when I'm playing Shardtail Queen, I need to look at the artifact first here. Unit cards without upgrades cost -1. So that means all of my imps costs nothing. That makes it much easier to do non-imp parade for Shardtail Queen. I will say, this early, Capricious Reflection is pretty exciting. Cards and reward packs and unit banners come with a random upgrade. But especially when I've already got 5 imps in the base deck. So here's the thing, right? Imp Parade, on resolve, add a Queen's Impling unit to your hand. Imp units cost -1 on this floor. I mean, fine. That's actually really not going to be good for me, is it? That's not going to be okay. Because I've got the -1 cost on them already, so I would easily be able to justify not taking this line. However, the alternative line, Imperialist, action. So triggers at the start of this unit's turn. Kill all imp units. Deal 20 damage per imp to enemy units. Which, there's not a lot of longevity in that, I guess. Unless I give a unit like an endless upgrade, and if I do that, suddenly it needs a cost reduction to be played consistently on that floor again. I don't want to get stuck into just doing Imp Parade, so I will take Imperialist here, but I see the struggles we're about to have as a result of that. And I intend to meet them head on. So yeah, bottom line, I'm probably going to have just the Shardtail Queen and 1 imp per turn for a while here. Eight additional Ember ready to play things. I've literally not used any of my opening Ember there. Easy. There's our collector collected. It's nice to have some Fortify here to really reassure the Railbeater. Shore him back up. Throw him back into the fray. Yeah. This is pretty much how I felt this one might go. We're not particularly great against bosses here. I can, like, amp our damage by... What is it? Compared to 12, it would be 21 by 9 by throwing the Queen's Impling to the back instead. which realistically I should have done in the first place. Because I don't want the melee weakness to be exploited by the weakest unit I have available. Actually, it also means that the imp gets killed before it acts. So it's actually only 8 difference. Yeah, we need to find damage. That's our primary must solve right now. Well, I mean, you don't do that if you don't want to do that. So I did that. Imp in a box. It's also worth noting the imps will always come out of this without an upgrade, so they're always going to be 0 cost for me on the bottom floor, which is real nice. Entomber Assault, Immortal Trade, and Mind Collapse. Certainly don't need another Mind Collapse. I'm going to be using armor, most likely, instead of health, so the only relevant one of these is the Entomber Assault, which I will take. Is that? Yeah, both calcified embers. Merchant of Magic Umbra and Merchant of Steel Umbra. I will admit, that's probably the most important thing for me. To hit an Umbra unit so I have someone to eat all these morsels I intend on making. I will say Dualism on Railbeater is pretty good. Melee weakness 2. Armor 60. You're not going to solve my damage problems, but you'll eat my guys. That'll be enough at the moment. I don't think Dualism makes much sense on you. After a certain point, lifesteal is lifesteal is lifesteal. If you attack 10 times and you have 100 stacks of lifesteal, congrats. You had 10 stacks of lifesteal. And it's not going to matter. Dualism on Railbeater certainly makes a bunch of sense to me. I don't think Endless on any of my imps certainly makes that much sense right now. I do want to be playing an imp every turn on the bottom line. And that's accomplished by making one of them endless. I don't know how I was hoping to argue around that one. I will also say, Rage 10 here, I could easily just throw that on Railbeater to get it doubled. That, I was asking about solving my damage problem. That is solving our damage problem. Hell, I'm going to put 14 additional damage on the Crucible Collector. Make sure that problem is well and solved. Actually, summoning additional units on the top floors here is quite nice. Especially concerning the fact that many of those units will be plinkable. Obviously, depending on how many plinks I draw on the first turn, but considering the amount I just drew, everything's good. Nice. Get him, Queen Impling, getting tossed. I guess additional health for the top line makes more sense, and then probably more some additional health too. 2 additional Ember next turn, nice to see. Nice. Love a good Entomber Assault. Actually, hang on. The numbers are currently on my side to play the Plink on the bottom line, and most likely... Dang. Strike a good unit with it. That's fine. Doesn't need to happen, just be nice. Some equipment for the Railbeater that is also affected by Dualism would be a really good power spike for us at the moment, so we'll keep an eye out for that. And that's a Steward mid-floor, and morsels are plenty for the top, including one that attacks, so we don't have to leak any damage. I'm going to take the opportunity this turn to burn a Calcified Ember. I'm going to have to find... Whoa, hello, Higher Chopper. An Impish Scholar for another Infinite Box, hell yeah. Probably not really going to get to take advantage of that before the end of the run, but that was nice. Before the end of the run, before the end of the fight. what I'd meant to say. I don't want to blink on the bottom line here, interestingly. Because I can guarantee it with Mind Collapse. I also could have conceded that floor and let them go all the way up until the top floor to fight the Crucible Collector, which I'm pretty sure I would have won that fight. And in doing so, I would have had the opportunity to burn out the other Calcified Ember. Would have cost me 1 Pyre health, though. On account of the Vengeful Shard, you see. Ritual of Battle, Hidden Passage, and Molting Imp. I gotta say, Molting Imp is one of my favorite imps to see in an imp deck a lot of the time. However, well, I think it still is here, because the real power of the Molting Imp is that it has range, right? So, it propagates damage to the backline. Cool. That's also what the action of Shardtail Queen does. However, they do it at different times. Molten Imp does it on play, Shardtail Queen does it on action, which is typically after the enemies have already attacked. So I think this is still going to be a worthwhile unit to include in the deck. Packed Morsels. Another Mind Collapse or another Untumber Assault? I'll take the Packed Morsels, please. I don't even know if I want to go for another Umbra Floor right now, or if I want to heal my Pyre and look at a Merchant of Arms. I'm starting to get pretty excited for the upcoming, is it Lost Arsenal? Let me make absolutely certain before I make a fool of myself by asserting that it's Lost Arsenal rather than saying, is it Lost Arsenal? Despite the fact that I was almost 100% certain, and you know what, I'll even upgrade that to 100% certain because I've clarified it now. It is Lost Arsenal. More of giant balance changes apparently coming to the game, but also more rooms and equipment, especially rooms and equipment that seem like they are for the older clans. So a little less of this feeling of what I'm currently at, which is I've got 2 MT1 clans. This Merchant of Arms is a mine. It is it is a landmine that I am actively about to step on and hope, beyond hope, that it's worthwhile for me in this instance. Look, I gotta say, that Void Armament, Enchanted Chamber with Plink, not bad. Relying on Plink, not good. Double Mind Collapse and Entumber Assault is pushing me a little more towards just taking the Enchanted Chamber and being like, sure. I've got to say, Railbeater with Multi-Strike does sound really good, especially because Strike, apply Melee Weakness, and then Strike again. So you apply Melee Weakness 2 to a unit, and then you hit them for Rage 20 on top of 10, 50 damage, which is amped to 150. So you set up and knock down the same unit, and God forbid it survives, it then gets mutilated. This is actually really good for amping my damage against frontline unit. Do I do it? Yeah. And you know what? Get deployable. How do I spend my Ember in the deployable phase? Void Armament. Rare Stygian, Banished, or Pyreborn. It's not going to be Banished. 2 related to clan mechanics I'm unlikely to use at all this run. Pyreborn sits a little bit in the middle there as well with that. A lot of Pyregel interaction that I have no relationship to. I mean, realistically, the general highest value here will be the Stygian Guard drop pick. Spike of the Stygian. Consume to apply 1x Sap and 5x Frostbite. It's also Ancient Synergy, deal damage to the front of the unit equal to 2 times the number of spells in your deck 3 times, which, I mean, you know, with the Enchanted Chamber, it won't be that bad. So it's 24 damage 3 times to the front enemy unit. I'm likely to keep all of the spells I currently have in the deck until I remove most of them at the same time. Like, the Implings are probably never going anywhere. Maybe I don't even lean on removal. Ancient Synergy has a look in here, certainly. And Ice and Pyre deals 90 damage to the front end muted on the Pyre bound, so it's only on the top floors. Both the Pyre and the room below that. Uninterested in that. I think Spike of the Stygian I'm only leaning towards the possibility of preventing Seraph Eternus from ever attacking, but that's realistically not gonna happen. Oh, unless I have a Pyre Chomper. Some way of resummoning that Pyre Chomper. Give me Ancient Synergy. The one I spoke... Well, I was about to say the one I spoke least about before I remembered that Ice and Pyre was there. I spoke about it so little, I forgot that it even existed. Right. Railbeater. Give it the boys armaments. Oh, yeah. I'm not going to be playing the Calcified Ember here because the rest of these are way too impactful. Like, eating 2 damage morsels and a minor morsel on the top floor. Incredible. Gosh, maybe I can get away with it. Yeah. All right, get out of here, Calcified Ember. I'll get back to that Queen's Impling when I need to. Mind Collapse, 6 damage to Archon just because we can. Enchanted Chamber Plink! Oh, and now 2 Fallen Champions are gonna die, so Archon will be doing some decent damage here. I'm gonna be giving you Rage 8 right now, which is a little bit dangerous. However, I will note my top line will survive against that and then full heal immediately afterwards, so it's irrelevant to them. And the mid line is sacrificial, so it's irrelevant to them because I always planned for them to die. I can also just jump with the Shield Steward here. Alright, let's actually have a different look at this turn. Let's go Ancient Synergy. And that immediately spends all of my Ember. Alright. And Sombra Assault is important. Gotta do that. Link could theoretically give me another, morsel if it double hit the Cowering Sycophant. It didn't. Alright, that's a better turn. Oh, how auspicious. We've left Archeon on 666 remaining health. It's okay, I'll take that down to 0. For too long. Calcified Amber and just a single Queen's Impling. Thank you. Terrifying. Oh god, Railbeater survives. Oh boy. It's getting pretty scary. You're wearing a void armament, my man. You can't be going out like that. All's wells that ends wells. Although I should have chump blocked with the imp at the end there. This one's going to be impolite for a couple of obvious reasons. Actually, it's for 6. It's for 6 obvious reasons. Impolite. Deal damage to the front enemy unit equal to 20 times the number of imp units in your deck. Forever Consumed offers to do the same with way higher cost. Granted, I will have to guild you at some point, but today is not your day. Demon Friend. Well, I'll be damned. Demon Friend sitting on his own line certainly appeals. I'll just figure out how to use that one. I kind of like the idea of going capacity here. But realistically, I'm not putting that many imps on the bottom floor. That's just not happening. However, if I did, I would be able to chump block with them. The value of getting more imps on that bottom floor goes up substantially if I manage to get the rally line, which is just on rally trigger, Chartel Queen gets 10 more damage. I want capacity to be correct, but it's not. I don't think yet. I think it theoretically could be if everything goes very well for me very soon. Energy is almost entirely irrelevant. All right. I'll take the draw. Yeah, screw it. Usually don't go to the Merchant of Trinkets this early, but when a friendly unit gains armor, it gains 4 additional stacks. That's not bad. When you play 3 different kinds of a card in a turn, draw 1, gain 1. Also, okay. There's the royalty line I was asking for. Great. Now I wish I went capacity, but I couldn't have known that was going to come. Oh, offer 10 buy health. Thank you. Equipped units gain armor 10. Great. I can increase that to armor 14 with the Railbeater. You can have as much health as you want, buddy. After deployment phase, summon a random unit from each deck onto from your deck onto each floor. Well, yeah, you'd think I'd be all for it. Only problem is if they summon anything that's not an imp to the bottom floor, immediately I'm screwed. So I'll be skipping that one. 20 by health. Start a turn, add a random imp unit to your hand. And now it's a Looming Dark Shard. Whenever you draw a Blight or a Scourge, gain 1 Ember and draw a non-Blight and non-Blight or non-Scourge card. Which you would imagine could be any card, right? Merchant of Trinkets. I think Railhammer is a lot of additional defense for us. Not right now, but in the long term. However, I do recognize if I reroll here and I got, you know, double summon triggers or something like that, like, there's a lot better than these. That's not them, but you have to imagine they were out there. Rage adds an additional damage per stack. Is pretty good for me, actually. Front non-boss enemy in each wave gains renomate 1. Now here's the thing. I think I've got to put Void Armament on our backline. Is that true? Eventually the rally will be high enough to justify it, but obviously I'm not getting the second stack of melee weakness. Seems pretty good here. It really comes down to I don't know if I can save Railbeater from the boss. I wonder if there's a world where the Void Armament goes on the next floor. This is a little difficult deciding where to put this. I'm gonna put it on the next floor. Yeah, okay, and then my first stand gives me a welder helper. It would... the problem solved at that point, basically. I'm gonna welder help, then Entumbra assault my own welder helper, gaining 2 morsels for the top line. Then drop the Queen Zimpling here. Follow up with Mine Collapse, taking out the back line. And then set up a Queen Zimpling to chump block on the next floor, and then just plink 'em, baby. Grand. Ooh. Enchanted Chamber. You simply love to see it. Impalate's ready to kill the frontliner, then Blink follows up, killing another 2 enemies. Play the Vengeful Shard. I really do want to keep my health if I can. I suppose I should play the Pyre Chomper though. Whoop. Welcome back, Pyre Chomper. I don't really have anywhere for the Spear Stewards at the moment, because the rest need to be open for the possibility of Plinkery. Suppose that's where you'll go right now. Probably should have taken the opportunity to get 1 chump block on that bottom line. I'm just going to be shoveling a bunch of those imps back into my deck at this point. No damage for you. Actually, I'm probably much better off, just playing the Imbolade. It's getting much larger over our time here. Thankfully, the Queen Zimpling dies no matter whether or not the enemies are attacking, so I can happily kill all of the enemy's damage units. Yeah, I could imagine Ajax the Unyielding being pretty difficult to move, I guess. In this instance, so... So they get 2 rounds of damaging the Welder Helper, and then it explodes. Perfect. I believe there is 0% chance that the next line loses to Ajax the Unyielding, which very, very... I don't know if this line would have won had I given Railbeater the Void Armament, but I'm glad that I don't have to find that out as well. Get him. Pyre Chomper in the base deck sounds good to me. Branding Right's pretty good, and Rage Serum's a lot of damage right now. That's 15 in a bottle. Does Pyre Chomper sound that good? It's nice to at least have one of each of them in the deck, so that if you ever draw an Transcend Imp out of Imsicle, or gosh forbid, get one drafted, it has at least one copy of all the different things it can do. Branding Right, unfortunately, on the bottom floor will deal as much damage as it gives armor because of the Enchanted Chamber. It comes down to whether or not I want to get Rage Serum, which I do, but there's an imp that does that as well. Emberforge. Interesting. Emberforge to defend Demon Fiend. Gives Ember every turn. That's pretty nice. Do I need Ember every turn? No. Grubble's relatively inefficient, but I can't rely on Plink for all of my damage shield forever. I do think Capacity is probably the next thing we go for. Merchant of Magic with a Hellhorn banner next to it. Hellhorn banner this late? Granted, if it gives me Consumer of Crowns, I know exactly what the rest of the run is, and it's ignoring the Consumer of Crowns because it's very large. It doesn't... I mean, maybe if it was next to a Merchant of Steel, things might be different. I'd be one Ember short of playing everything if I upgraded the Demon Fiend in the opening. Giving Demon Fiend quick would obviously be incredible, though. Slash Alarco for removing... Sorry, Unstable Vortex for removing a couple cards, also pretty good at this point. Railbeater is certainly good. Railbeater good enough to do? No. Multi-strike. Railbeater is already occupied, so Demon Fiend. How many Endless Imps can I really afford? Well, I mean, if one of them is giving me money, and by money, I do mean Ember. Oh, thank heck. I knew that I think Quick could roll a cost that I wouldn't be able to buy here, and I would have been real sad about that. But Demon Fend with multi-strike and Quick, oh boy, that's good. This Pyre Chomper, you know what? Get damage shield 3. You're now my biggest chump block, and you're my energy every turn. Thanks, bud. Mighty nice of you. Let's get rid of both of those Spear Stewards. This is absolutely going to be Capacity at this point. No ifs, ands about that. So Capacity, Merchant of Trinkets? I mean, that Pyro Mains is certainly going to be very helpful for us. Oh! Hello! 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 What's up? Hi. Cluster of 3 large crystals. So this is for a spell. I can reduce its cost by 4. I could triple stack it. Or I could give it Permafrost as well as Reserve. While in hand, permanently gain 5 magic power. That's not going to be relevant here. Reducing the cost of something by 4, rather. Not especially relevant here either. I could make Ancient Synergy free, but like, I already kind of have it free if I draw it on the right side of the Pyre Chomper. And the other is triple stack, which like I can get 3 damage shield or 24 armor. Granted, having the Entropic Crystals in my deck does mean that I would trigger Looming Dark Shard more. When you draw a Blight or a Scourge, gain 1 Ember, draw a non-Blight or non-Scourge. I actually think I want to take this for the downside. Gimme Entropic Ancient Synergy is free. There we go. I'm absolutely maxing out my money in every single area here. Start a battle, in a minute from each floor. This wouldn't be so bad. Except we're a little short of all of the different ways you deal with that. Demon Friend can just defend me against all of it. Fine. I'm probably not summoning Crucible Collector here, at least not in the first cycle. So this is Railbeater go down, Chateau Queen go down, Demon Fiend on the top line. Do I Void Arm you? I believe so. Yeah, my job is literally just get a single chump unit in front of the Demon Fiend. We have succeeded. All of the... Nice. All of the corruption from these enemies dying is just getting stacked on the Fledgling Imp because we're attacking at quick speed. Get rid of the Tropic Burn, then summon Pyre Chomper. Nice. Which actually stays alive as well after chump blocking all of that to get killed by the Chateau Queen. It's perfect. This midline, I kind of need to start sacking units. Maybe not that many, but some. Oh, hang on. Good opportunity in the bottom line to Entomber Assault my own unit. There we go. Two endless units is fine. Later, not right now though. So okay doing that. Yeah. I can hit him with an Ancient Synergy, prevent myself from having to take the downside. And chomp the bottom line, set up an Impish Scholar for another Imp in a box, pull him back. Oh, the Black Guardian doesn't even get to attack on the top line, so I've nowhere for all of my troops to be eaten. Two handsome morsels in the deck, no one to eat them. Yeah, capacity is going to work so well now. So we've basically minimized the other requirements. Down to a level of near irrelevance. That worked out pretty well. Impish Scholar, unfortunately, doesn't really change that much for us right now. Cool. That's totally okay. I didn't leave my Void Armament on the bottom line. Even more stacks of your Titan skin getting knocked away. Perfect. Oh, on resolve you gain more Titan. Thought we were gonna get you. Thought we were gonna get you. Last stand. Doubles the amount of rage on friendly units. There's also Battering Ram, which I really like as a good payoff for an Imp deck, because a lot of the time the Imp deck ends up generating a ridiculous amount of armor as well. But there's an Impish Scholar, and remember what I said earlier about the thing? Cave in, descend all units. That's not that bad, because eventually I do want to cave in the midline onto the bottom, so holding cave in with permafrost wouldn't be that bad in my mind. But realistically, it's only good on exactly one turn, and that's when the boss is spawned. Grovel and Cannibalize. Cannibalize is the ability to play an imp on the bottom line, kill it, and get morsel units. It's simply gotta be health. Friendly unit center with armor 5. I don't dislike it. Flesh and Tails. Rage doesn't decay on friendly units. First time you play a morsel each turn, draw 1. I should probably take draw 1 on morsel play, because I will do that most turns, making it a draw relic. I mean, realistically, there is a large amount of me that just wants to dupe the Fire Chomper. Gives me the ability to, every single turn, for 2 Ember, gain 8, and as many jump blocks as I could ever possibly need. Granted, it is drawing, it's 2 of my cards every turn. I think it's worth it. I think it only gets better in the future. No Void Armament immediately here. Queen Simpling hits top, and that defends our unit. Then Morsel Jeweler. Ooh. Link actually managed to get another Rubble Morsel. I did not expect it to get another Morsel for me there. Having a Molting Imp ready on the second line to jump block against Kale. It seems relatively clever to me. I like that I have a way for the imps to die no matter how tanky they are, giving me the ability to make, like, real defensive imps, like the Fire Chomper here. Impish Scholar, unfortunately, doesn't have to pull back. Yeah, that's about where we have to leave it there, I think. I'm very thankful that we have the Demon Friend here to help us deal with these Chosen Bastions, because otherwise they would be a goddamn nightmare. Welder Helper hits the bottom line. I will then kill my own Welder Helper. This midline only needs just one more jump blocker, so I can just throw Queen Simpling there. That's fine. Okay, and turns out we don't have enough damage to take out the Chosen Bastion just at the moment. Oh, literally? You get down to 1 health? Ridiculous. Thankfully, our top floor won't worry too much about that. So I thought, but I'm going to have to throw a little additional damage up there. Thankfully, we do have the damage, so no problem on that front. Well, to help bottom line, I'll cannibalize you so that I can now play a Pyre Chomper instead, which stays alive, projecting its damage backwards. I do like the idea of impaling the bottom line, but that's only if I can get away with... Yeah, these magma morsels won't even deal damage to you. So what, 15, that doesn't deal damage. Only thing I can do is impalate the top line in order to guarantee that it dies. Yeah, Chosen Bastion's being a little bit of a nightmare here for us. I wonder if Void Armament's justified right now. I think so. I think one additional multi-strike is exactly what this situation is calling for. Thankfully, we do have Grovel in the deck, otherwise I would not be doing morsels anymore, which I'm still really trying to do. Neither of those Mind Collapses was especially effectual, but didn't necessarily need to be. Oh! I've got an Antumbra Assault, meaning I have the ability to take down one of my own imps. Drop the Molting Imp and then bring it back. Then we can get the Pyre Chomper down there. And one more Maggle Morsel for the top line for good times. Midline's doing pretty good work here. Granted, I am a little concerned. Okay, never mind. Now that Gale, with taking all those morsels off, the cherubs off the field, rather, Gale is now very vulnerable. 45 health from dead. That'll do. Hell. We'll impalate him. Take my 200. Double the amount of armor on the unit. Probably less relevant than just getting an Ally of the Ancients, to be honest. take Reinforce, though. Because its potential is a lot higher. Merchant of Arms, Forgotten Boons. I mean, realistically, the Merchant of Arms that, like, I can make a room deployable, but I don't really have the ability to play it in the opening end. Merchant of Steel here. Really wants to go to the Merchant of Steel. Alright, Merchant of Arms. Wow me. Royalty 2 will be rallying for 15 additional. What do I want to do 40 in AoE? Because I'll be honest, 15 additional isn't that great. Just playing more units will be good enough. But 40 means that if I fill that line with imps, I'm dealing 120 to all enemy units on that bottom line every single turn. Let's go Imperialist too. Unit's damage is always equal to its max health. Not especially good for anyone here. Fight Club, 15 additional damage. Sure, we could throw that on the bottom line. Realistically, these Plinks and the Enchanted Chamber and Mind Collapses, they kind of had their day. Bloodthirsty Blade. Just nice to have. I think I could easily take that and just throw that on someone. I think perhaps I take Fight Club and throw it on the bottom line. I'm also going to upgrade it to be deployable, because I'm not deployabling my other equipment at the moment. I'll reroll here just to see what's up. I did want Swift Steel. Bloodthirsty Blade and Void Armament for the quick for the Demon Friend seems pretty good to me. It's still deployable as well, so I could do it in the opening phase if I really wanted to. Actually, I also want to remove some stuff from my deck. Bone Dog. Hello, Bone Dog. Don't really have that much room for you, Bone Dog. I'll take a Bone Dog's pendant. Thank you, Bone Dog. Yeah, it's getting pretty important to remove other cards from my deck at this point. These stewards have no place in here. Let's let them know that by showing them the door. Got one more Merchant Trinkets to collect some more power. Non-boss, front non-boss enemy in each wave gains reanimate 2. Realistically, the downside of this the downside of this is that I'm gonna have to fight Ragewing Assassins consistently. So I might have to throw the Enchanted Chamber back on the bottom line, but I think I can get through this one. Especially if we equip Demon Fiend as early as we can. Obviously can't do it immediately, but as early as we can would be nice. I do want Fight Club on the bottom floor, but I can't really justify that here, so I'm going to have to throw it on the mid. Because Shout Out Queen, Railbeater. Nah, it's not high enough yet. Demon Fiend, and then Crucible Collector on top. Oh, nice. Start with Enchanted Chamber. I'll drop a Plink. Already got what I needed. Ancient Synergy is a whole mess of damage to you. We can Fire Chomper, Queen's Impling, and Molting Imp. All to increase the rally trigger. I'm just going to double the armor on you right now. And throw a morsel on top line, draw a card. Hey, it's another Plink. So that unit's got 2 lifesteal, 2 reanimate, which is really nice because it means it goes to the next floor and then I just punch it in the face twice. But as soon as I get the equipment, which I really wish I had there, then this will also be 2 bloodthirsty slays. Nice, Molting Imp, good to see you. Well to help. Throw a... Oh, hang on, that's got to go behind as well. I've got to remember the person who wants to attack immediately after the Railbeater has always got to be the royalty. Play that one, and then I'll cannibalize it. Imps on imps on imps on imps for this line, thank you. Actually, I can get a double slay on that line. 2 more imps. Although, if I'm entirely honest, I do think the imps should probably be going somewhere else at the moment. Ooh. Okay, just additional health imps for the Demon Fiend. That'll be fine. Imbolate would be huge right now. Oh, hold up. I can do that in a better order by dropping the merged equipment first. So, merged equipment. Then, I can Mind Collapse. Ooh. I'll take 1 Slayer away from that equipment in order to gain the 2 Ember here. Welcome back, imps from your box. Collected. Nice. Let's get pack morsels and plink the bottom line. All the morsels want to go to the top. And they can all fit there, so I should probably just let them. I can also give Quick via the Swift Steel Dagger to the Shaltau Queen, which means that she'll be exploding every turn before Railbeater even goes off, but that's AoE damage first. I probably want the AoE damage last, though. That's not necessarily that helpful for us. It'll be fine on the top line, though. So, Fledgling Imp, and then Strike Own Fledgling Imp down. Damage. Damage. Ooh. Nice blink. Damage and damage. Just enough space for all of the morsels that we made. Nice. Perfect timing for the multi-imp. Then Fire Chomper and Fire Chomper make it pretty much impossible not to be able to play everything. A little bit of cannibalism right there. Ooh, hello, Antumbra Assault. Yes, thank you. We'll absolutely take some additional morsels, especially ones that focus on health for that line. Interesting. It appears like getting the ability to take down the Ragewing Assassin was like everything right there. Yeah, if I kill it manually, our damage spikes. There's got to be a better way of doing this, because I don't want the boss to be gaining that much damage, and if I'm striking the enemy's front line, that is their chosen Breastone, it's going to give the boss a lot of damage. So if I put all of my units behind Shardtail Queen, then I have a way to guarantee that they manage to explode, and also that our first two hits are just taking out the chosen Breastone. Pretty good. I don't need to use Ancient Synergy, and in fact, I'd be significantly better off not using it. Nice. I will have to admit, we're a lot less powerful than I thought we were. A lot less powerful than I thought we were. I'm very glad that we got the 400 additional gold from this fight. I don't know what we would be doing without it right now. Important work. Saxon Imp draws a card, especially because endless cards get put directly atop your deck. You hit that on an endless unit, and you gain an energy, and then you draw that endless unit again. Gemtrove, Shroud Mitosis. 3 copies of a friendly morsel unit. Not bad. Not bad at all. It doesn't feel like the Merchant of Steel really holds anything for me here. It's 100,000% Merchant of Magic removals, Forgotten Boons. The market is low on Plinks. Plink do not want to be in my deck anymore. Spellchain and Holdover, those are some pretty good cards. Spellchain and Holdover on important work. I get to play it 2 times a turn. That's ridiculous. That is so huge. Oh boy. Let's see what the Merchant of Trinkets is currently holding. On deployment phase, draw an equipment card from the deck. Reduces cost to 0. Annoyingly, we're manually going to draw the merged, but then we would draw the Swift Steel Dagger for free, which is fine. Morsel's enter with damage shield 1. Tuned Whetstone. Tuned Whetstone's not that important. It gives quick to a unit that doesn't really need quick yet. I guess unless I want the Shartel Queen to be attacking with quick. Seraph Eternus, Chosen of Dominion? The problem with her attacking with quick is she both kills all of the enemies and also kills all of the chump units that block the enemy impacts. 2 additional capacity on the middle floor is probably pretty good here, actually. I do need to see how the quick resolution works for Shartel Queen. Also, unit sent to a damage shield 1. I don't think the damage shield 1 for Morsel units is especially important, given the amount of chump blockers I already have access to. Fine. I'll take the ridiculously good trinket that I keep ignoring. But I don't want her. Yeah, it's about time these plinks get out of the deck. I'm not... My Ember, my Morsel generation has moved. Thankfully, I've got Cannibalize, I've got Entomber Assault, I've got Grovel. It is still a little light, unfortunately, for having a Shroud Mitosis in the deck, but we'll deal. Realistically, cost is not an actual concern of mine, so I shouldn't do anything about that here as a priority. Blink is way too unreliable to be part of my consistent strategy. I mean, consume removal is relevant, but other than that, I think I'm probably more focused on unit removal. Plus 10 magic bow to the Entomber Assault. I'd like it to be able to kill. Alright, Seraph. We're out of blinks to blink. And then I'm going to use my merged equipment anyway. Oh my god, we got important work and an endless imp in the opening hand. You don't know what you've done. Summon a Molting Imp to take all of that corruption first. Great. Now, let's go Queen Simpling. Sack and draw. Queen Simpling. Sack and draw. Oh, another Queen Simpling. Cannibalize. I mean, the Endless One's coming back anyway. I do want to play the Shroud Mitosis if I can get it here. Queen Simpling to block the damage on the top line. Then I'm gonna want like a lot of lifesteal. Sorry, lifesteal. I'm gonna want a lot of damage shields. You've got lifesteal to manage yourself. Oh. We've drawn an obligation to Antumbra Assault another unit now. Morsel Miner. That's going to be my target for Shroud Mitosis. I kind of want to give it to Railbeater. Is that dumb? Yeah, it is. I'll give it to the unit that really should have it, yeah. Demon Fiend. And then if I want to chump units, we do that on the bottom line. Ridiculous. Oh my god, the Impish is... It's the box as well, yay! Okay, Queen's Impling. Takes a unit down for us. Bring it back, Queen's Impling. Takes a unit down for us, nice. Bring it back, Queen's Impling. Takes out a unit for us. I'll input a box first. I really need my damage defensive ones, which is hard when I'm drawing 2 cards that are just the Queen's Impling every turn, but still. Hard to believe, but there are other cards that I need. There we go. Some additional health for the Crucible Collector on the top line I think is really important here as well. I'd love to play this World Helper and Pyre Chomper, but I actually think they're significantly better in my deck right now than out. Yeah, we let a pretty significant amount of corruption get double stacked on our friend there. That's not great. Big old impalate damage as well, though. I'm going to draw another card into the deck, actually. Yeah, it's just the 20 corruption on Railbeater this turn. That 20 corruption feels like a huge mistake. By the time Seraph comes down again, thankfully I do have my other Pyre Chomper now. That's really important. Wow, Blink completely misses. Huge whiff on the bottom line there. Yeah, Suicidal Dagger will kill my own Railbeater so easily. I figured that was going to be the case. Did just have to look at it, though. Probably could have looked at it at the start of the turn, so I don't have to rewind so many actions, though. jump blocker. Have the swift tilt dagger. You can have more armor. I'm becoming increasingly concerned about this. $450, so 450, I'd have to strike you like 10 times, which means you're double corrupt. Like, the Demon Fiend line is probably going to be our kill line at this point. It's okay. I'm gonna have to start amping your armor as well, though. Okay, Transcend Him is ridiculous, and we know. Oh, it's only 20 armor it's giving right now? Wild. That's not good enough. I don't think I can seed the bottom line yet. Thank you for the packed morsels. Additional damage shield. Strike, yeah. So a single Antumbra morsel in the front line prevents almost all incoming damage on this line. Link was ready and relevant, but unfortunately missed. I think some additional health for the Shardtail Queen makes a lot of sense as well. More rally triggers. And then this Mind Collapse is 75 damage that I can just throw at a target. Straight at the Seraph, the only one that it's anywhere near relevant on. If I get another Transcendent or two, maybe the bottom line is salvageable at this point, but it's pretty much exactly that would be what would be taken. Ooh, and Tumber Assault for taking out a Curse Giver. Good target for cannibalism. Yes, gotta chump block that top line. Damage, I think, matters so much more on the mid line now. So we're doing like 600 damage now with that midline every time we go through. I'm under no illusions that our bottom line is really going to be what helps make and break it for us here. These Pyre Chompers will both come back next turn anyway, so I can set them up as my chump blockers on the next line. Oh wow, we drew back into the important work. Oh, that's ridiculous. Unfortunately, it can only draw me the endless ones right now. So I'll put it back atop the deck and then draw it. That's fine though. A lot of those imps got down. How much of this is going to be corruption on the next line? I push through almost all of you. I take another 9, and then the 3 from you is the additional 15. So you only have 15 corruption by the end of this turn, but you get a bunch of slays. That's fine. Pretty sure all I have to do here is chump block for you. Yep. And why not go overboard? So I'll just punch you for 630 damage, and once you've made your way through all of my imps, we can have a discussion about whether or not, oh my god, 2 health. Okay. Oh boy, that was a lot closer than I was prepared for. Venture forth to meet the Titans. I do think Quick for the Shardtail Queen would be good now. Morsel Jeweler for the chump block? Won't get eaten in time, but it'll prevent damage shield damage as well as the corruption. It's probably better there. This one with 9/9, I think I probably got to get that behind you. Ancient Synergy. I suspect Hazel Sword is going to make short work of the Dominion. I'll throw my damage at Savagery. I think 3 for 60 additional armor right now is a great price. Actually, I think cannibalizing is also worth the cost here. And I'll use that opportunity to develop some more morsels. Get him in polite. Let's summon Impish Scholar. Thank you for the Impeter box. I'm gonna kill my own Impish Scholar. Give myself 2 Morsel Excavators. That's gonna be really important for the midline support. Your health. The army units both want to go behind you, but the morsels want to go in front of you. Maybe you don't traffic in morsels. Yeah, I don't give you armor, I defend you. That makes more sense. Reinforce for another 85 now on the Railbeater. Perfect. Burn both ventral shards, and then I just gotta find somewhere to put these excavators. Keeping you damage shield free is gonna be important. Oh, I love Curse of Entropy in this mode with the looming Dark Shard, because it just pumps your energy for you. Thank you. Whole treasure trove of morsels for our collector on the top line. Granted, the collector is not really an important unit for it. Holding its own line still is pretty important, to be fair. Someone's got to hold that line. Okay, because Chartel Queen is attacking quickly, I only need a single morsel on the bottom line to be comfortable. Single morsel, single imp is what I meant by that. No, it's 2. It's 2 imps. Unless I wanted to use my collapse in an interesting way, that's fine. Queen Sibling, then Transcendent. This one's going to give me back a lot of stuff to hand as well. Nice. I'll take Impeter box. Ooh, Pyre Chomper. Reinforce, ready to double the armor on Railbeater again. Now the Reinforce is finally showing its upside. I knew you had one. I knew it was within you the whole time. Unfortunately, we're in a very, hopefully, rare turn where there's no value to the Shroud Mitosis. Savagery's taking a lot of damage. I think I might need to throw some spells at Dominion up on top there, start buttering them up. Oh boy. Here's the Pyre Chompers we were looking for. Actually, I'm not going to fledgling it jump block the top just yet, in case I want to summon morsels up there. So fine, I guess that means I'm going higher chomper, molting, then fledgling on the bottom line, hitting those with the important work, so that I can draw new cards still. Ancient Synergy removes all the spell shield from the top line now. Yeah, we'll be taking 71 directly to the Railbeater, just all of the damage from Savagery and Entropy, but we're okay doing that courtesy of all of the ridiculous amount of health we got. About 5 turns, maybe 4 turns away from slaying Dominion up on top line there. Courtesy of highlights each turn. Curious. Those are not the things I wanted to draw this turn, and the Chosen Ardent on the bottom line is certainly not encouraging. Oh, that's fine. If it's just the Chosen Arm that survives, that's completely okay. Which means I can actually cast as much as I want on the bottom line, because the only thing that gets buffed is all the units that die before the turn. Endless. And we'll Tumbra Assault. Summon another unit on the bottom line. Cannibalize now. And another Queen's Impling. And then this line just becomes as many defensive guys as I can get. Gotta keep the Demon Fiend alive if I can. Interesting. One of those fire jumpers is gonna have to go on the next line. Thought we might have defended him enough, but we're okay. We can do this. Yeah, literally fully defends him if I throw a single one on that floor. Everything else can go pretty much exactly the same. Yeah, the additional health. Oh no. Fire Chomper survives. It's fine, I can kill it with my own. The important work. If I really need to get rid of it, I can. Let's just Imbelate to push some damage on the bottom line. Got another Reinforce. Oh no, I can't draw another card. Or at least I can't draw another unique card. Which means I'm not going to be able to trigger the Shroud Mitosis again. Yeah, Shroud Mitosis, it's been good when it's good, but we've experienced the other side of good a couple times here. Gotta say, I preferred it when it was good. Okay, Grovel helps. Curses of Entropy are really taking our damage away from us at the moment, though. Ooh, a bunch of lifesteal for the Demon Fiend in the midline. I like it. Oh. I thought that one fire jumper would stop all the incoming damage. Oh, right, of course it doesn't, because the Shartail Queen attacks first, so the Railbeater is completely revealed to all incoming damage. Oh no, and now the Fire Jumper on the midline survives, so I miss out on all of the... Damn it! Alright, I gotta find a different way around that one. That's okay, it's literally just different placement of those morsels. Go. Now you can get all the lifesteal you need. Well, hopefully all the lifesteal you need. And then I can just throw both of these Fire Jumpers back on the bottom line. It's pretty much fine for them to die. Yeah, my slowest damage by far is going on Entropy at the moment, which is really annoying. Hopefully that additional lifesteal helps boot that up into a bit of a higher gear for our midline. Impalate to do 420 damage directly to the Entropy. Honestly, probably what I should be doing right now. Higher jump of the bottom line, strike it myself. Want to keep groveling for this midline wherever I can. I just realized that one of those Fire Chompers is supposed to be on the midline. Yeah, one of those Fire Chompers has to be on the midline after it's played. I keep forgetting that has to travel north with Savagery for this to work. Now that it would be taking a resolution away from me, I will take an enemy down with that rather. Ooh. Big mind collapse. I can keep all of the damage stuff on this midline and then throw all the health stuff on the top line. And I think actually that gets us there. Oh, I missed out on using entropy against the actual target. Entropy. Sorry, inhalation against the actual target. Entropy. That was the only line where they'll be open for a while, I imagine. Ancient Synergy gets me a little additional damage on the entropy here as well. Much better on the middle lane, too. How dare you? Yeah, that Chosen Herald's gonna stop my stealth triggers on this floor. I think Endless still works. For some reason. I don't think it's supposed to, but I do think it does. Just double slay you. If only it worked. Oh no, Endless totally worked right there. Saves some damage on that floor, I'll keep it. Timber Assault my own minion. Strike, strike, trample, strike, trample. I don't kill the Chosen Herald there. Interesting. That surprises me. I mean, I really want, like, all these morsels eaten. I don't know how that'll work, because it's saying they're going to get eaten at the end of the turn, but it's not saying Demon Friend gets affected, so I'm assuming they get eaten, but Demon Friend doesn't get any larger? Yeah, I think that's exactly what happened. Demon Friend got no larger. Oh my god, my silence unit on the top line. No! It's fine, it's fine. I just have to play that slightly differently. I'm getting ready for an impalate directly to the boss. Which is going to be really relevant here, and I think we'll be coming away with a win on this one. I was a little wary for a while, especially in the Seraph fight. But it looks like this clan combo is gonna... Well, as long as the game loads, and it does, great. go. And 520. Directly to entropy. Top line's now doing officially 0 damage. Perfect. It's just enough to get us across the line. Let's get a chump blocker for all the flaws that could possibly care about it. Oh my god. This is courtesy of the double melee weakness on Blightbound, and then Demon Friend punching that, doing triple damage, and it's trampling with it, which only happens because Shardtail Queen has Quick and explodes all of the units, leaving Railbeater to set up melee weakness for a unit going to the next floor. I haven't even gotten to really properly appreciate how good that is for us. That'll do it. Send it. And in the worst case scenario where we really needed it, we also had the Bone Dog's Pendant ready to trigger and heal us back up to full HP. Full HP, sorry. A full quarter of our HP. Ancient Synergy and Enchanted Chamber both earn their... I mean, Enchanted Chamber really earned its placement there. Not really the Ancient Synergy. It wasn't necessarily a shining star in this deck. The Scourge it added to my deck was probably more impactful than it in the long run. Let's have a look at the run summary. Wait, what were you saying? New personal record of imps played. Hell yeah. A quick look at the run summary. I mean, like, realistically, sacking 2 endless imps a turn, as well as chump blocking with the big ol' Pyre Chomper, having draw mainly solved courtesy of trinkets related to things, and then energy mainly solved as a result of the imps themselves. I mean, Impsicle is a draw relic. It just draws you a card every turn. Mask up a number as well. Same with Limbo Solace. Also, Ancient Pyre Tab giving us the ability to actually play the... Hang on, where's my joint equipment? What's that called? Merged equipment. There we are. 41 damage on it by the end of the run. Certainly not half bad. The additional multi-strike, much more impactful. And honestly, this guy held it down the whole time. Both of these upgrades at the very, very start of the game, and they were relevant right through the very end. Good run. Let's head back to the outpost. Be sad about the fact that there's no cutscene. And I'll tell you, my name's been Rhapsody. The name of the game has been Monster Train 2. Top left is a series playlist for all my content of the game, past, present, and future. YouTube recommendations down below. Streaming past are the names of the people so generously supporting the Republic on patreon.com/RhapsityPlays. Out of the thank you, and a special thanks this episode to Dialer. Hopefully you'll have been enjoying yourselves, and hopefully we'll see you all next time.